Amidst the battle to curtail the spread of the coronavirus disease in Nigeria, Nigerians are worried about the relationship between the 5G technology and the coronavirus. We get some insight and break down the issues for you tonight on the program. The federal government said that it plans to withdraw a total of $150 million from the Sovereign Wealth Fund for distribution to the federal, state, and local governments. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos, and we are monitoring the situation as related to the coronavirus in Nigeria, especially some of the latest coming from the authorities involved in some of the administration of the information coming. The Lagos state government has come out this evening to announce that 2 more female patients have recovered fully after testing negative twice consecutively and have been discharged from the infectious disease hospital today in Lagos. With the newly discharged patients, we now have a total of 31 people that have fully recovered from the COVID-19 in Lagos and discharged to join the community. That's the statement from the Lagos state government. And so 8 new cases as of today of the COVID-19 have been reported in Nigeria, 5 in Lagos, 2 in the FCT, and 1 in Kaduna State, which brings us to a total of 232 confirmed cases of COVID-19 reported in Nigeria. By the way, the federal government has announced plans to withdraw a total of $150 million from the Sovereign Wealth Fund for distribution to the federal, state, and local governments. The Minister of Finance, Budget, and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, was speaking at the media briefing, explains that the intervention is expected to help tackle the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the economy. Disbursements from the Federation account has experienced a sharp drop recently from 716 billion naira in January 2020 to 581 billion naira in March.
Average pack receipts should be at an average of at least 650 billion for the federal government and the state government to meet their current obligations in a healthy manner. Unfortunately, we project that monthly receipts may decline to as low as 400 billion over the next 3 to 6 months. To address these emerging fiscal risks, the President has approved that the sum of $150 million be withdrawn from the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority Stabilization Fund to support the June 2020 FAC disbursements. The Stabilization Fund was created for such emergencies and is to be utilized for this purpose.
So much development, so much to talk about. A major conversation tonight is about a 5G and what this means, the correlation with coronavirus. We have an environmental biologist, and of course we have a policy administrator to give us a sense of what is happening right here on the program. But there are a few issues that we need to dissect, especially information coming from some part of the country. Now, our political roundup, everyone.
The federal government has defended the invitation of health professionals from China to assist in tackling the COVID-19 pandemic, describing it as a social corporate responsibility of a Chinese company in Nigeria. According to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, the professionals are medical engineers who will help train Nigerians before equipment are deployed. The SGF was speaking at a briefing by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in Abuja. The federal government, through the Ministry of Finance, has identified several areas of fiscal palliative to support the economy in the wake of the outbreak of the coronavirus. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, says the global disruption caused by COVID-19 and further decline in international crude oil prices makes it imperative for government to adopt the measures. She lists part of the measures to include 500 billion naira investment intervention fund already approved by the president, which the NAS is expected to pass a bill on. The fund is expected to be used for the upgrade of healthcare facilities across states, amongst others. The Nigerian government appears vehement in its stance in implementing the lockdown order of President Buhari as the police today arraigned Nollywood actress Funke Akindele and her husband, Ibrahim Bello, also known as JJC, before a magistrate court in Ogba of Lagos for hosting a house party in contravention of the COVID-19 lockdown order in Lagos State. The couple is facing a one-count charge of gathering over 20 persons for a house party, contrary to the social distancing directives of the Lagos State government made pursuant to the Regulation 8, 1A and B, and Section 17, Subsection 1 of the state's Infectious Disease Regulation 2020. Both of them have pleaded guilty to the charge. The Ekiti State government has flagged off food distribution across the 16 local governments of the state in fulfillment of its promise to cushion the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and attendant government pronouncements. The governor also relaxed the 14-day curfew imposed on the state for 2 days to allow citizens move freely between 6 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon on Tuesday and Thursday. The packaged foodstuff will be taken to 20,000 households identified in a formal register as most vulnerable.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. Let's dive into the conversation that we have for you tonight, and it's about the coronavirus disease and technological development. So, a lot of people online, offline, have been having this debate and saying 5G that is being tried. Well, it's been established that there was a trial spectrum done in Nigeria, and the fear of contracting disease mounts, but there are other myths tied around the coronavirus. One that is being very popular is the 5G technology and the effect on humans, or whether or not the 5G technology aggravated the virus, or in fact, some say it's even the cause of coronavirus in Nigeria. Is it a myth or reality? Let's get a sense of what this means. We might be talking technology, but tonight we want to break down the policy of government, the issue of lives of Nigerians, technology. How does it relate with some of the problems that we're facing around the world today in terms of the health emergency? Let's speak to an environmental biologist, Mr. Tony Nwakalo, who joins us tonight on the program. Thank you so much, Tony, for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Sharon, for having me.
First and foremost, should and give us a sense. A lot of people think that 5G, coronavirus is caused by 5G. True or false?
There's no evidence to support that. It's just that there's a few things that happen to be very strange coincidences. That's what I believe gave rise to the suspicions.
You are a biologist, you're a scientist, and you are of the view that 5G technology is dangerous. In the first place, in the first few seconds, explain to us what is 5G. For a lot of people that don't understand what 5G is, we know 4G is we are utilizing 4G majorly in the country now for mobile communications and all that. What is the difference between 4G and 5G?
So 4G LTE means fourth generation long-term evolution, and it is within the radio frequencies that are pretty much, it's called, in radio frequencies, you have the SHF, which is the super high frequency, and which is between 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz. And then you have the extremely high frequency from 30 to 300. So 4G is within the lower bands of the super high frequency. And 4G has maximum speeds of 100 megabytes per second to 1,000 megabytes per second. Now, I say that to put it in perspective so you understand the graduation of speeds of processing.
So the question is, what is 5G, isn't it?
So 5G is fifth generation mobile phone technology that is expected to support more complex internet operations like the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing. 5G is actually in 3 bands. You have the low